the Leo moon and the Leo ascendants. This video is for both of you. I will explain the difference because some people have confusion about Leo moon. Should I check the transit from the ascendant, which is Lagna, or the Rashi? So moon sign or Leo moon is nothing but Singha Rashi, and Leo ascendant is Leo Lagna. All right. We should check it from both. So if you are Leo moon and Leo Lagna, this is even more important. But if your ascendant is something else, but your moon is in Leo, you must watch this. Okay. How do we look at the difference? It's very simple. Something that is seen from your mentality, how you look at things, will be your moon sign, which is Leo moon. And your physical body will be seen from the ascendant. Okay. Let me give you another example. Depression or any psychological issues are seen from moon. Anything to do with the body, physical pain is seen from the ascendant. So I hope you've gotten clarity on how we look at the difference. The ascendant changes every 2 hours. The moon sign can be the same. So if you're born on a certain date, even the next date will be the same moon sign. The moon takes longer to transit. All right. So Leo moon. So before we start, I always like to give some traits about the Leo moon and the especially if you have more planets in the sign of Leo. If you have a cluster of planets in Leo, then you must watch this as well because this transit is going to be very significant. Yeah. For example, if you have Jupiter, Venus, and Rahu also in Leo, all right, or if you just have Jupiter or Saturn, Leo, or Saturn and Mars, 3-planet conjunction in Leo, then the transit should be looked at because that's a very strong Leo energy in the chart. So born leaders love to lead, like being their own boss, like company, like to socialize in most cases. When they love with all their heart, love looking after their friends. They like appreciation. One of the things about Leo ascendants, if you're dating a Leo ascendant or if your child is a Leo ascendant or Leo moon, make sure that you're appreciating them. All right. And they will give you their best. Right. Especially parents. If you have Leo children as Leo moons and Leo ascendant, their upbringing, you must make sure that every little thing that they are doing well in life, you are noticing and you're telling them, hey, you did this really well. All right. They like the appreciation, and the same goes with adults as well. All right. Usually do well when they are owning their own business, but we have to see the chart for that. Don't like working under people that they don't respect. Very, very important for Leos. They work well with people or their managers if they consider that they can learn something from the managers. The moment they lose respect, no matter how well they're getting paid, how well they're doing, they will lose interest in their job, especially the employed ones. Same goes with their partners. Respect is very, very important. They can take a bullet for their partner, for their lovers. But what they cannot take is disrespect. Remember, sun, they're ruled by the sun. The king, you don't disrespect the king will walk away from you. So respect becomes very, very important for the Leo ascendants. I've mentioned in other videos as well that they should not change jobs frequently because adjusting to a new atmosphere can always be a challenge for the Leos. Yeah. All right. So let's look at this transit. So lots of, if you look at the 8th house here, you see this major cluster. There is a lot of activity from the given dates I have mentioned here. 29th, just another few days, after 3 days, and it's going to be there for 18th. If you want a detailed and more, I have made 2 different videos, one for the Saturn transit itself and one for the Rahu transit. So watch those videos so that you can get some clarity. This one is specifically for this time period from March 29th to May 18th. Okay. So 8th house related stuff. So firstly, don't get scared. This 8th house cluster is not supposed to be very, very bad for you. What you're supposed to check is a few things. Now you see the cluster here, you will check Saturn in your chart, if your Saturn is weak in your chart, which means if your Saturn is debilitated, if your Saturn is in the ninth house, or Saturn is weak, Saturn is in the 12th house, all right, avoid doing anything risky that can get your bones broken. So no adventure sports. Um do not go to the casino and gamble your money. People who are into trading, pay attention. People who are into investing, trading stocks, this is not the time to invest, especially if your Saturn is weak and your natal Rahu is also not strong, because Rahu is forex. People who are trading on Binance and cryptos and currencies, especially, if your Rahu is weak, this is not the time to take a risk. It is time to learn. It's time to observe, wait for this time period, wait for Rahu to transit out, right? Because this is the time that Rahu and Saturn will be conjunct. This is a great time to make a long-term decision, because Saturn is long-term, right? So people who are wanting to take a long-term decision on investment in in forex or cryptos or whatever rocks your boat, especially because 8th house, trading, ups and downs are seen from there, and then it is happening in the sign of Jupiter, Pisces, and Jupiter will stay in your 10th house, right? It's also the lord of your 5th house. You see, that's where trading and speculated income comes from there. All right. Not the best. People who are married, not the best time to confront something about your in-laws. Yeah, take your mother-in-law out for a nice dinner and be very nice to her. Buy her a gift. Okay. This particular conjunction, for people whose planets are really well placed, whose Saturn, Venus, and Rahu are very strong, they can suddenly gain from somewhere. People who had invested money, especially anything speculated stock, they can suddenly gain money. People who are into research or who have been working on data science and they've launched an app, and people who have been working on anything 8th house related, astrologers, occult, tarot card readers, they can make massive gains during this time. Right? But what do we have to check? We have to check the strength of your planets in your natal chart, number one. Secondly, we will look at what Mahadasha are you running. If you're running through Saturn Mahadasha or Rahu Mahadasha or even Jupiter Mahadasha, this particular conjunction in your 8th house will definitely have an impact. There is no doubt about it, Leos. All right? It is good or bad, that we have to check with the strength of the planets in your natal chart. Which house is it in? Which nakshatra is it in? What are the degrees? Where are the nakshatra lords placed? Are they forming any yogas? If the same planets that are doing the conjunction in the 8th house are forming very powerful yogas of money and career, there could be a sudden upmove in your career and wealth. If they are not forming a good yoga, you can have health related issues. So great time to look at your health this time. Like I said, don't do adventure sports. Don't indulge into intoxication. This is the time not to indulge in alcohol consumption or, anything that can harm your health. It's a good time to look after your health. Not a good time to confront your spouse, your girlfriends and your boyfriends. Try to maintain a very peaceful relationship. Suddenly see, 8th house has the Scorpio energy, sudden ups and sudden downs, especially after 3rd of April. Why 3rd of April? Because Mars, your most Yoga Karaka planet, which was in your 11th house all along, although it's not the best placement, but it activates the 11th house of incoming gains. People who have a very strong Mars or going through Mars Mahadasha, Mercury Mahadasha, or even if Mars is there, Mars is holding very high degrees in your chart, they would have gotten some incoming wealth in the last month and a half or two. So if that has happened, please mention in the comments and share your experience so that the other Leo ascendants are also aware of it. Okay. So good time to visit a temple or whatever your religion is. If you are a Christian, go to a church. it's a good time to spend time in isolation and devotion. Have gratitude. Remember, gratitude is the highest vibration. Okay? And the biggest problem for Leos is their ego and their anger. It's ruled by, it's ruled by sun. It's a fiery sign. Most of their relationship problems in their professional life, problems with their children, with family members, especially their love relationships with their husbands, with their wives, is because they don't want to back down in an argument. Is because of ego. All right. So this is a great time not to, use the negative energy of the sun, which is fire, and try to be more humble and introspect and build good relationship with your work, people at work, with your family and with your children, with your gurus, especially with your teacher, people that you've learned something from. Yeah. So after June 7th, when Mars transits to your Lagna, you will get great results. People who are into the education industry, people who are trying to complete a certification, or students, you will see your most Yogakaraka planet Mars giving good results. Remember, Mars is about physical activity and health and fitness, gardening, connecting to Earth. So the more the Leos are getting fit, gardening, swimming, all these activities which make your body fit, the stronger Mars gets and stronger your 9th house gets. Especially people who are into trading, people who are into any kind of business where 8th house is involved, which means astrology, science, research. People who are into the research, and I've spoken about it for a while in my other videos, so take a look at it. This is a great time for Leos to get into the research related industry. So if you're already considering it, it is time, these couple of months is time to put a framework around it. Not necessarily try it, wait for Jupiter to transit to Gemini and Rahu to transit to your 7th house. Okay, and that will happen after the dates I have mentioned here. So these couple of months is time to be spiritual, non-materialistic. Don't look at making money. You should be looking at perfection. You should be looking at growing spiritually. You should be looking at increasing your knowledge. You should look at pointing out what your vices are. And if your vices point out in the direction of ego, it is time to be humble after especially Ketu transits to your 1st house. And this could be the most significant time period for you, especially with Ketu passing over your Lagna from May 18th. And it will be there for 1.5 years. So remember something: the most fierce, or the feared and the mightiest creature in the African jungles is an African lion in its prime. Okay, but even that lion knows when to fight and when to back down. All right. So that's all I have to say for the Leo Ascendant. If you have any experiences to share, go ahead and share in the comments. I always appreciate a good discussion. If you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends and family that are Leo. And if you need a consultation, my information is right here. Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you better than the best. Bye-bye.